Welcome to Phrasal Verb Practice. This is the place to learn real English, one phrasal verb at a time. My name is Marissa, and I'll walk you through this learning journey. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing great. Today, we're diving into the phrasal verb come across. First, one very common way we use come across is when we find something or someone by chance. When we say come across, the idea is that it wasn't planned. It just happened. For example, I came across an old photo while cleaning my desk. She came across a great article online. We came across a small cafe during our walk. Now, there's another very common use of come across. We also use come across to talk about the impression something gives. So when we say come across, we're talking about how something seems to other people. For example, he comes across as very confident. Her email came across as cold. You didn't mean to be rude, but it came across that way. Here's the key point. In both meanings, come across is about how something appears or how it's experienced, often in a natural or unplanned way. Now, just to connect this idea quickly to other languages. In Spanish, come across can mean encontrar por casualidad or parecer. In French, it's tomber sur or paraître. In Portuguese, encontrar por acaso or parecer. In Italian, imbattersi in or sembrare. In German, zufällig finden or wirken. In Japanese, it's ogen mitsukeru deal, no insho ataeru. And in Chinese, it's ogen faxian,给人一种感觉. So people usually use come across when something happens unexpectedly, when they talk about chance discoveries, when they describe first impressions, or when they explain how words or actions were perceived. Let's look at a few clear examples to recap. I came across an old friend yesterday. That's the first meaning. This book came across my desk last week. That's also the first meaning. She comes across as very professional. That's the second meaning. The joke came across as offensive. Second meaning again. He wants to come across as honest. Same idea. Now let's talk briefly about grammar in a simple way. Come across is inseparable, so we don't split it. We say, I came across an interesting idea. We don't say, I came an idea across. Typical structures, come across plus object, or come across a document, a person, an article. And when we talk about impressions, we use come across as plus adjective or noun. Come across as confident, friendly, rude. With pronouns, it stays the same. I came across it. She came across him online. All right, let's practice now. First, you'll listen to a short text from everyday life. Then, you'll listen to another one in a professional or office context. Are you ready? Let's start. Last Saturday morning, I was cleaning the apartment. Nothing special, just one of those slow weekends. While I was going through a drawer I hadn't opened in years, I suddenly came across an old notebook from college. I had completely forgotten about it. As I flipped through the pages, I came across notes, jokes, and even phone numbers I don't recognize anymore. It felt strange, but nice at the same time. Later that day, I went out to run a few errands. On my way back home, I decided to take a different street. I don't usually walk there. That's when I came across a small bakery I had never noticed before. I went in, bought some bread, and honestly, it was one of the best choices I made all week. Sometimes you just come across good things when you're not looking for them. That afternoon, I met a friend for coffee. We were talking about work, life, and random stuff. At one point, I realized I might have come across as distracted earlier because I kept checking my phone. I apologized, and she laughed and said it was fine. Still, it reminded me how easy it is to come across the wrong way without meaning to. In the evening, I sent a message to my sister. I was trying to be helpful, but after rereading it, I worried it might come across as a bit cold. So I sent another message right away, just to make sure my tone was clear. I didn't want to come across as annoyed when I wasn't. Before going to bed, I scrolled through some old photos on my phone and came across a picture from a family trip years ago. It made me smile. Moments like that remind me how often we come across memories, people, and feelings when we least expect it, and how important it is to think about how we come across to the people we care about. Great. That was the first text. How many times did you hear the phrasal verb of the day? Now, let's move on to the second text. Monday started with a quick team meeting. We were reviewing tasks for the week when our manager mentioned a report he had come across late Friday afternoon. It wasn't something he was looking for. It just showed up while he was checking another file, and it ended up changing our priorities for the day. After the meeting, I went back to my desk and started reviewing emails. While scrolling through an old thread, I came across a message from a client that we had never replied to. It was from months ago. I forwarded it to the team and felt a bit uneasy, hoping it wouldn't come across as careless that we were answering so late. Later that morning, I had a call with a new colleague. It was our first real conversation, and I was trying to sound clear and friendly. Still, I wondered how I might come across, since it's hard to read tone over a call. By the end of it, he said I came across as approachable, which was a relief. In the afternoon, we worked on a presentation for a client meeting. One slide felt a little too direct, and we worried it might come across as critical instead of constructive. We adjusted the wording so the message wouldn't come across the wrong way. Just before the meeting, our manager came across an older version of the proposal in a shared folder. It helped us catch a small mistake we would have otherwise missed. During the meeting itself, everyone tried to stay calm and clear. No one wanted to come across as defensive when the client asked tough questions. After the call, we got positive feedback. The client said the team came across as organized and confident. That felt good to hear. At the end of the day, as I was updating my task list, I came across a note I had written weeks earlier, reminding myself to follow up on this project. Days like this remind me how often we come across useful information by chance, and how much attention we need to pay to how we come across to others at work. Great, that was the second text, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for following this channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.